Welcome back to the 21 Convention 10-year anniversary of Orlando, Florida. Our next speaker was known in the best-selling book The Game as Rasputin. He's been coaching men around the world for over 25 years, a quarter of a century, about as long as I've been alive. Without further ado, please let me welcome Hypnotica to the stage.
All right, man, I gotta tell you guys, this is the first time in a really long time that I look out and I see men that get it. For the last 8 years after the game, it went through this really weird phase where all guys were coming out and they wanted to be men and they wanted to say, oh, I'm the best in the world and shit like that, and it got really weird. And the cycle's kind of coming through now again, where I'm starting to see the real essence of men come back out. Instead of a bunch of guys wanting to peacock and being like, look at me and things like this, I'm the best. It's not about competition. This is about you being the best version of you that's available. And looking out and seeing you guys, and even the level of this conference, the professionalism that's here is really showing. So it's coming back out to this professional, powerful, we're men. This is stuff that we get to talk about, that we get to share our experiences with, so that we can be the best versions of ourselves that's possible. And so, Anthony, thank you for putting on such a great professional thing. I could talk about a lot of things. Been around, ran strip clubs, still do, for the last 25 years. Had lots of experiences in all kinds of things. I consider what I specialize in sexuality and seduction. Very skilled at hypnosis, design human engineering, all kinds of things like this. We can go really deep. There's gonna come a point in time where we're gonna ask questions. I want the questions to be asked because I wanna answer them. There's a group dynamic going on, and I wanna make sure that we can all understand and have questions and answers that probably everyone has thoughts about. Now, what do you think is a man's purpose in life? In my opinion, really very simple. A man's purpose in life is to navigate successfully his own reality. It's very simple. Nobody else is gonna come in and navigate your reality. You have to do it, you're a man, okay? What Alan talked about yesterday, you're not gonna get a pass. I've been talking to a lot of the teachers, and you've seen me kind of in the background, not too social, because I'm watching. I'm asking questions. What do you guys want? What do you guys want? The biggest thing I see here is you guys gotta give yourselves the permission to say, fuck it, this is my life, I'm a man. I'm gonna do what I want, when I want, okay, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else, but you gotta step into your power. I see a lot of guys unsure about it, and they're in their heads, and they're analyzing, should I do this, should I do this? They're meta-processing themselves. So when they're out, they're fully not connecting. They're in their own head. And when you're in your own head and you're talking to a woman, guess what? You're not gonna get any head. All right, it's real simple. A woman wants to feel a connection. She deserves a connection. You're with you 100% of the time, all the time. Be okay with taking a vacation from your own head. Say, you know what? I'm not gonna be selfish anymore. I'm gonna actually pay attention to this woman, fully focus on her so much that you absolutely forget about yourself. And you become so aware of her that you can read her nonverbals. You can go through and you can calibrate what's going on. You can see her and be there with her so that when you're in a conversation with her, you're paying attention to everything. One of the best things that I do with women is I focus so much on her, I forget about myself. I can pick up things, their blinks, what their pulse rate is. Okay, this takes calibration to do these kind of things. But if they're fidgeting, a lot of times I like to call women out because I like them to know that I'm so hyper aware of them that sometimes they get insecure. And I don't want them to be insecure, but I want them to understand that there's a certain level of communication going on that they're not used to. There's a certain level of intimacy that's going on that they're not used to. And when they're with that, with a man who knows what he wants, okay, knows his values, his beliefs, his boundaries, and everyone should know your beliefs, your values, your boundaries, what you're gonna put up with, what you're not gonna put up with, because that's the foundation of who you are. If you don't know what you're about, you're gonna get run over. Women want this kind of man in their life. They want a man who's gonna come in and say, hey, you know what? Nah, I'm not cool with this. You know what? That's not at my level. That's not my style. Most guys are just like, okay, I'm gonna bend my rules because I wanna get laid. I wanna make her happy. Okay, if you're a man and you know what your own boundaries are and you got a good disposition with who you are as far as spiritually, and I do believe in the spirit, okay? I don't think there's a God that sits up there and says, you're this, you're this, you're this. But I'll play with the archetypes that are out there. I do believe that there's an energy, and if you meditate on stuff, you're gonna get answers. And you have to dream big, because if you're gonna be average in life, if you're gonna be mediocre, the best way to do it is to be realistic, okay? You have to be unrealistic about this, okay? Life's gonna grind most people out. When I first started, I was terrible with women. I was fat, missing teeth. You know, if you ever see, there's a book back there. Look at the picture where I started from. Terrible with women, horrible. I was just a normal dude. So I was like, how am I gonna get better? So I positioned myself, you know, where women were, the choir. You know, there's lots of gay guys in there, and there's me. I was like, this works. The girls are into it, like, cool. Then I went to a show choir. Then I went to starting in a strip club. But think about it at the time. In that time, I made a goal for myself. I wrote it down. I want to be the best in the world with women. Now, as a young kid coming out of high school, you know, sitting there in the back of a show choir lifting girls up, was that realistic to think at that point in time? That one day I'm gonna be up on stage, be in all the books, you know, have more sex with women than most men do in 10 lifetimes? Did that seem realistic to me? Do you think it was realistic to me? You think I completely believed it? I didn't. But I dreamt big. And you have to dream big too if you want this. Is it hard? Fuck yeah, it's hard. It's completely hard. It's what separates the men from the boys. The moment, like, you move from boyhood to manhood, you cross the line called responsibility, 100%. You give up the professional victim game, and you start thinking to yourself, you know what, why not me? Fuck it, why not me? Like, this is my experience. When you move to that level of experience where you're looking out in the world and you're thinking, you know what, this is here for me. I'm here. I have the only, and probably will ever, have a unique DNA with the solution to every problem here on earth through your unique perspective. Nobody else can take that from you. That's how rare you are. You're so rare in the world that you have something to offer that nobody else has. You have your own solution. So what are you gonna do with it? How are you gonna look at situations? What are you gonna want for yourself? You have to know that. If you don't know that, someone else is gonna come along and say, well, I'll give you something to do. Why not? All right, so the biggest thing that I want you guys to understand is, first of all, just stop and realize, you know, you're just as good as everyone else around me. Many guys are better than me at lots of things. I don't focus on that and go, well, they're better than me. There is no competition among other men. Okay, the only competition you have is what level are you going to raise the bar to? That's the only way you move forward in life, is you keep on raising the bar. Because next thing you know, I was in the strip club. I'm gonna flip back to that a little bit. Okay, I was a young kid getting beat the fuck up by the most manipulative women on the planet. I love dancers, okay, I love them. I think they're great. I think what they do, they have to do because they're making money. It's a fantasy, it's not real. It's an impulse business that is a necessity in this society, because feminism's coming in, they shut down strip clubs. You know, lots of strip clubs are up, they put bad names on dancers. But I was talking to Anthony earlier, or I'm sorry, Matt, and we're talking about it, and I said, think about this. Anthony was talking about the war on masculinity. Do you know that after 40, there's a 4 times increase in men suicide than women? Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay, why? Think about this. Why is a strip club so valuable? Does anyone have any ideas?
Because men are lonely.
Men are lonely.
It's an outlet.
It's an outlet for men, yet they want to shut them down. It's the only place where a man can go. If I'm 40 years old and I just broke up with my wife or got divorced and I don't go to a nightclub, you know what do girls do? If I come up and want to talk to a girl, creeper, fucking post it, they shame you, things like this. So you got to get to the point where you don't give a shit. And that's what the strip club's good for. Guys can come in, get that bottom root conversation, maybe even a little, you know, touching and feeling. Powerful things. So you really got to think, is that where you want to be at the end of your life? You want to be going to a strip club? Hopefully you do, come to mine, you know, lots of good girls. I'll even show you the best girls that give the best dances, you know? Be like, that's the one, no, that one, okay? But the point that I really want you guys to understand is, man, it comes down to a decision. Your destiny is formed in the moments of the decisions that you make And as small as mundane as they seem in the moment, every moment is just as powerful as any other moment, okay? You can sit there and you can say, well, I'm not gonna do that. And what does that lead to? Leads to just, no big deal. Okay, every decision you make forms in your mind a neural pathway. Every time you do that, behavior gets stronger and stronger and stronger until the habits start to rule you. And it's a hard place to be. I've been there, and coming back from that and having to unlearn things is hard, changing a habit. So why not do the best that you can do to get into your own level of reality, what you want? I mean, how many people here have your own beliefs, your values, what you're used to, what you're gonna put up with, what you're not gonna put up with in life down and stick to it? Okay, that's not a lot. So think about it, you're the mayor of your own town. If you had your own rules, someone came in and they were unruly, they didn't respect you, they were late, how would you react? You gotta hit hard. You gotta say, hey, this isn't it. Alan was talking about time wasters yesterday. And there's a girl, I date about 6 girls right now, and I have a wife. All up on the table, up front. If I flip off this story, let me go back to it. Because I wanted something else that I saw. Johnny and I went and watched Kingsman yesterday. All right, the new Kingsman. Anyone seen it? Yeah. It's cool, I liked it. And there's a scene in there, these are the most trained guys in fighting and stuff like this. And there was a scene in there where the guy had to sleep with this girl to put this thing up her vagina so it would transmit this energy. And he called her up, he's like, and he got weak. He didn't have it worked out. And so he got worked, one of the best in the field. And I was thinking, man, if he came to one of our seminars, he would have that shit all down and on lock, so he wouldn't even have to go through that. So you can have everything you want as long as you're honest about it. If you're honest about it, and these are things that are cool that took me 25 years to learn, and lots of anguish, because there was 4 or 5 times where I met such a cool girl, and I'm like, I think I'm monogamous again. And then I got monogamous for not a long time. Ended up cheating and fucking being miserable. And thinking, fuck. So I knew after a certain thing, I am not monogamous. I have great respect for people that are monogamous, but I don't think it's for everyone. And the society doesn't really reward men who have multiple women. So you gotta understand, okay, what are you about? So you can be upfront about it. When I meet women for the first time, I just go like this. I basically say, hey, I only will date, and I don't really use a date, I hang out with bisexual women. Oh, well, I'm hetero, could we hang out? I go, it doesn't do me any good, it doesn't do you, because what if we hang out, we start having sex, we start developing feelings, what's gonna happen? Okay, it's not gonna be fair for me, because I know what I want, and it's not gonna be fair for you, so let's just be friends. Now, when you put something like that on a woman, you say, let's just be friends, or it's not really working out on a sexual level, that's a new paradigm for most women. So I want you to understand that if you have your philosophy down and be powerful with it and have examples and analogies of why it's important. A guy came up to me and says, how do you have all these relationships with women and not have any issues with it? I go, I never said I didn't have any issues, all right? Even my wife sometimes, it's funny. My wife and I may split up, and it's not because we don't get along, it's because she really wants kids and I'm not feeling it. I'm like, look, we're probably at that point where we need to split. But she was saying, at one point, she's like, well, this doesn't seem to be working out with a lot of the girls. Sometimes she has conflict with girls. That in itself, menage management, is kind of rough. And I said, so wait a second, so it hasn't worked, but for the last 25 years, I've had 4 girlfriends consistently at the same time, and there's a cycle, sometimes they come and they go. I'm like, so I've been living this lifestyle for 25 years and it doesn't work. Do you think I give a shit? Would you give a shit if you had that kind of lifestyle and you were learning things along the way? No, multiple women, yeah, I've learned a lot. And the nice thing is I'm at this level now, we were all talking about Zan, Johnny, we're at this level now where we're fully content. We went into the gutter, we went into the basement, we got dirty. There's a fulfillment there when you live your life the way you want to. Can't explain it. All I can say is there's a certain peace because I knew that I put myself in those situations that were grinding me out. And the thing that's really cool about that is you guys are young. It took me 25 years to do this. We didn't have seminars like this. This is why it's so cool. We didn't have guys that are true and tried. We went through that weird phase where a bunch of guys were coming out and they got laid 3 times and they're like, I'm a guru. And you're like, what? Bad advice. You know, most of the guys that I know, I think were doing it just because I think they were secretly gay, and that was their front. Well, look at me. So there's a lot of bad advice. But now we're at the point where we have guys that have been here over the years that are consistent, that really know what they're doing. And what took me 25 years, because I didn't have any real role models, now you guys can get the best material. And if you really look at it like any other subject, it's only going to take you, I would say, for the average person, 2 to 4 years to figure it out. And that's quick. That's pretty simple. It's just like any other subject. You got to study it. Dynamics, especially between men and women, are hard. There's a lot of adjusting. You're going to fail lots of times, okay? But you just keep on getting back up, saying, shit, man, you know, I'm out of girls. I need to go get new girls, all right? And that's the cool thing you get to do. Because most men are like, oh my God, I'm not gonna approach her because I'm gonna look like an asshole, and you're gonna beat yourself up for, 15, 20 minutes, or maybe a week. And I talked to this girl. All the girls that I date are muses, which is cool for me, okay? They're the girls that are the most sought after women in the world, okay? Guys always trying, but they hang with me, and I always ask them, I'm very curious about it because I've come such a long way in my journey. And I asked them, I said, well, how fast does it take for you to forget about a guy when he comes up and says, hello? She goes, what guy? And I was like, the guy who comes up and says, hello. She goes, no, that's how fast I forget. What guy? And I was like, really? And then I was like, whoa. So if you guys are out there worried about, like approaching a woman and her saying something and feeling bad, you're the only one feeling bad because she probably doesn't even remember. 2 minutes later, you're gone. You're a blip on her screen. So why not take the time to say, you know what, I'm gonna learn this shit. And what a lot of guys do is they go all over the board. They try to better themselves in all areas. If you just really keep simple about it, you're gonna get that much more powerful. Like just focus on your initial communication with women. I was talking yesterday, who's the guy that was out at lunch, and the waitress was there, and I'm like, can I give you right back there. So can I give you a little advice? I was listening to his conversation. I go, where in the conversation did you have some kind of playful sexual innuendo? And I'm like, so when she said this, I said, why don't you say something like this? Really subtle, really simple, something that I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was like, well, sit down and have some lunch with me, like joking or something like this. That is a form of inviting a woman in, having fun, but it's safe. And I learned this from Ted Walton. I read his book, and he said, you know what, at his level, he always talks to people wherever he goes, no matter what. He gets in the habit of just, hey, how you doing? So now it's such an ingrained behavior that it's natural for him. Talk to everyone. So I'm like, if you just talk to with a woman and she says, oh, I live down the street, and I say, well, I live right down here, maybe we can meet halfway. Joking, I'd love to take you out or and get you food poisoning. Joking, something like that. You're still saying something that is putting it out there, playfully. It's not like creepily, but if you do that for the course of a month, every girl you just say something playful, not creepily, okay, you gotta learn the difference, all right? You're gonna get in the habit where it's gonna be so natural to you, even to do what he said, talk to everyone. Because talking is one of the forms of communication, imagine that, mysteriously, that gets you to be intimate with a woman. So I just want you to understand that there's things that you could do. You could just say, okay, I'm gonna focus on this. I'm gonna focus on this. And get it done really quick, because most of the basics are out there. They're perfect for you as far as that goes. And think about this. All life, I'm an optimist, okay? And I've done lots of experimental things in my life, okay? And so I know that there's another side, there's more energy. But in this physical realm, all life, all your experiences is gonna end in tragedy. Everyone you know is gonna die. Your pets are gonna die, plants are gonna die, okay? But when you get to that point and you cross over, transition, are you gonna be proud of the life you lived? Are you gonna be like, you know what, I pushed it. And that's all between you and you. Ain't nobody gonna be able to change that. The amount of pride that you have with your own unique DNA and your own unique lifestyle, the way you go through life, with whatever situation you have, okay, is going to be how proud you walk through that. You look at God or whatever in the eye and you're like, did good, right? Did good, man. Come out to you and say, yeah, you're pretty much like everyone else. You think you were born here, if there is a God, you think you'd be proud if you're like, I just did what everyone else wanted me to do. What did I offer you? You just wasted space, you wasted energy. I already got all the other answers, but what did you do specifically? When did you push yourself a little further. Do you think about that? Like every moment. And see, it's so scary on some part because it's so elusive, because you think this moment right here is just normal. You know, you see that woman over there is just like, I'll do it later, put it off. But that's the moment. The power is in the moment. And it almost seems like there's no energy there. You have to create your own energy in the moment to get momentum, to be powerful, to move forward into the future. And it becomes a habit. It gets stronger and stronger, and you have more and more self-belief in yourself. You know, what level? Like if you have the platinum man who did everything he said, and the gold man did most of everything, silver, where would you be at? You know, as far as the best way to build confidence is to get the things done that you say you're gonna do, because then you can trust your word and you know that you can follow through with what you do. So like I said, like if you do like 90% of the things, you're gonna be pretty good, above average, probably great. 80% good, 70% average, 60% below average. So think about your word. Think about what you want to do. Have some goals for yourself, because when I was going back to the goal thing, and we were talking about what I wrote down this, you think that I'd ever be saying, like, out of the billions of people on the planet, I've taught most of the major coaches, okay, had sex with women that I still sometimes go, well, how the fuck did you do that? You know? You think that I would ever have that experience? No. So going back to what we said, you have to dream big. There's energy in dreaming big. There's energy in this illusion that you want to create that's such at a high level that it adds energy. It draws you to it. It's what sustains you when you get beat up. Beat up, dragged around. Like, you know, if you haven't got beat up and dragged around, you don't really know what your resilience is going to be like. And your resilience comes straight from your curiosity. And how curious you are is how deep you're going to go with a woman and yourself. Are you curious, like, if you get beat up 3 times, like, are you curious that you have the resilience to bounce back and to be more powerful, to get back up on your horse? You know, it's very obvious when I'm working with the dancers, and I'm always getting the dancers back up on point. You know, they come back, and I have to do instant therapy on them because they go out there and they're with a bunch of asshole guys, and they're like, oh, you're too fat, your tits are too small. They come back, and then they're crying and shit. And it starts off like this, and this is what women do. So I don't want you to be feminine in this way. They come up, and they're like, the guy right here, they come up and they go, you want to dance? No. Second time, next guy. You want to dance? No. Okay, third time. You want to dance? Next time. You don't want to dance, do you? All right, next time. I'm going to go in the back and smoke a cigarette. They don't come back out. So that's what women do. You think you can be a little bit better than that? I mean, women are soft. They can get beat up. What excuse do you have? You know, what's a woman gonna do to you? Gonna hurt your feelings? You know, yeah, get your feelings hurt, but you know what? That's the nice thing about feelings, is they're energy. They're moldable, they're pliable, just like your brain. What's the meta program that you wanna think? Okay, I get beat up, I fold. It doesn't happen like that. You can't do that. So you have to get motivated. Like, just having this talk right here, something in your body should be going like, fuck the way I had been living. All right? Fuck that. Like, why are you sitting back on the sideline? Life's going out there. If I could do it, and I started from the seediest, shittiest strip club in the world that you can imagine, it was fucking scary. A friend of mine got shot and killed there, all right, who was bouncing as well, okay? Graduating. Like, you don't think that life is just gonna hand you stuff. Like, you get grinded out, next thing you know, you like pop through and you're like, fuck, I'm at this level, cool. Like, it's better than that level. But when you're getting tossed around, you think that you're going underwater. That's the way it works. You know, you never think that this is where it's at. Even at this phase right now. Like, everyone's like, oh, you're mad, you've done all this shit. And yeah, I have. But I'm still running into new things. You know, the intensity that I used to have because I've had so many experiences is not there. I knew I was fucked when I throw parties at my house. There's a full-on like little orgy going on with a bunch of girls. All right, and the girls are like, hey, Eric, come on over. And I was like, I'm kind of hungry. I knew, I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. You know, but as a man, you're gonna have to go through that. Don't get to that point and have all this other extra baggage that's still there. Like, get to that point where you're like, hey man, you know, women this day, sometimes they'll be like, oh, you're too old. And I'm like, it's not that I'm too old. I'm like, you're just not mature enough to understand what a real man's about. You know, so I have to work on this level. Like, that's all new to me. I'm going, you know, great, that's a whole new look. So there's always stuff along the way. Don't get to the point and be like, I haven't done any of my work. I still got all this fucking baggage here. Shit, now I'm getting into, middle age. Now there's a whole nother realm. And it's like these rocks, they'll drag you down. You got to take the rocks out when they're there. Write them down, figure out what's going on. When I first started, I was an insecure motherfucker, big time. I'll tell the story because I don't know if you guys heard it, but I literally was like, I'm gonna fix this. And this is what Evan Pagan or David D'Angelo, we used to do this in the early game because we were curious. I wrote down all the beliefs that I had. This is how you do it. You get a book, spend a day and just be aware of the thoughts going through your head. Came up with 140 negative beliefs about myself. And consistently, one at a time, I hit it. I hit his, he hit mine, we hit them together, and I started working on one, reframing it, doing hypnosis, doing whatever it is, taking it apart, try to break it down so the emotional energy is still not there, and boom, one would disappear. And then another would disappear. And pretty soon, because I got rid of this one was kind of linked to disappear. And then I got to the point where there was no negative emotion. Then I was like, okay, well now, what are the beliefs that are gonna empower me to the man that I wanna be, that's gonna facilitate this lifestyle that I want for myself? Then you start to create these. So you have to sit down, because if you don't do the work on yourself and figure out what's going on, you're not gonna know who you are or what you're about. And does it take time? Like, oh man, you gotta invest in shit. I can't watch Game of Thrones because that's like an hour. Well, if you put an hour into just sitting down and writing your beliefs, that's good. You're investing in yourself. You have to invest in yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, you, valuable, not gonna happen. Women wanna be around people that raise their expectation because they secretly, I think the biggest thing that women want in their life, excuse me, I'll keep a little tension on that. The biggest thing that women want in their life, I think, is to be successful and to have freedom. And when you live your life by a physical, shining example of that, women want to be around you because you've raised your level so high that you're not like every other guy, okay? You can hold them to a higher expectation. I hold the women that are in my life at a super high expectation. Not to be a dick, but because they're so used to men placating to them. They're so used to our society living at a level that's not cool. Like this one girl, and I'm gonna see if she'll pick up. She's on the cutting block, okay? Beautiful woman, but she's late all the time, and she wastes my time. And I sit around, I'm like, look, this isn't gonna work. And every time she comes over, she'll have a little bit of drama. I go, you got a really young mentality. This isn't gonna work out, okay? And so I'm very harsh with her, and she hates it. And other guys were like, that's pretty harsh, because I'm like, look, you're fucking wasting my time. I said, be here at 8 o'clock. Okay, and that's not just the first time. She was late a number of times. I go, I ain't gonna sit around, because I stop my work, get ready, sit around and wait. My time's important, okay? I value my time, which you should all value your time. And she said, well, I'll be there at 8 o'clock. And I said, okay, if you're here at 8:01, forget it. So she's always pushing it because she's used to, because people let her slide. And when you let people like that slide and they don't value that people aren't gonna put up with it, then they're fucking themselves, because nobody in life is gonna wanna be around a person who's always late, that thinks that, is selfish about time with other people. So she lives about 10 minutes away, and she was coming over, and it was like 7:05. I knew she wasn't gonna make it. I'm like, you're not gonna make it, you might as well turn around. She goes, no, I'll make it. She pulled up at my house at 8:02, and I was gone. She's like, where are you? Gone, down the street. She's like, what do you mean? I said, I told you. She goes, I can't believe you did. I go, hey, that's how it works. Now you know what it's like. And has she got better? Not at all. All right? So I don't even know if you can hear this, but this is not planned, okay? But she'll tell you. Hopefully she picks it up. Can you hear that? Now, it may come across harsh, okay, because this is live. She may not pick up, she may pick up. She doesn't pick up. It's that silence again. Oh, man. Come on. One more time and we'll give it up. All right, maybe she'll call back. I'm gonna leave it there. The point, something about silence, all right? Silence in communication is probably the most powerful seducer that there is. People are talking. Men think that the more they talk, the faster that she's gonna spread her legs for you. It doesn't work that way, okay? It's the silence. It's the pictures. If you're talking, she's not able to really make the pictures on her own in ways that she prefers. So when you're silent about stuff and you have that depth, you let her feel it. You feel that the void of the universe, that it's a fulfilling, like, whew, okay? And you're grounded and you communicate with a woman and you're looking at her directly in the eye. She feels that, you know? And time, most people think that time, it's the lack of time which really creates the seduction in a woman's mind. Do you seduce the woman for the most part? Yes or no? No, a few moments. You set the interpretation, you set the inspiration, you get her mind going there if you know how to, you know, put on some light sexual innuendos, get her thinking. But for the most part, she's gonna do it to herself. She's gonna be like, that guy was very interesting. He didn't wait around, he actually said, well, it was nice to meet you, walked off, said something, and she's like, oh. So in her mind, it ticks. One of the things I do at work, because I work, you know, Wednesday, Thursday for sure, and then I go in other times. You know, there's girls that, you know, I always flirt with, and I walk them out to their car, and they're like, when are you working next? I go, next week, and I go, doesn't that suck? They're like, what? I go, you gotta wait a whole week to see me next. That's gotta suck. Because I know you're making those pictures in your mind, right? And they always laugh and stuff like this, but you're just putting that suggestion in, lightly. Okay, but she does it in the off time. So stop thinking the more you talk to her, the more you're hanging around her, the more you're leveraging yourself to get laid. You know, I know guys that are super, super powerful and strong that have a quick interaction, and all of a sudden, boom, they leave, and the girl's like, where'd that guy go? You know, especially in the strip club, who's that? Okay, well, that's my friend. Oh, he said that you were gonna give him his number. I go, did he now? All right, you know, because I know he's doing what he's doing. It's a very powerful thing to do. You know, so be more exciting. How do you be more exciting with a woman? Well, first of all, you create the life you want to create. You know, you decide for yourself to raise the bar and to live an exciting life. And know that living an exciting life, one that you have to go above and beyond, is a sacrifice. You have to sacrifice stuff. Being a man, you have to learn to sacrifice. What are the things that you're going to sacrifice? Sometimes it's friends, TV. Are you going to respect yourself? Like, what do you do just as a baseline to be healthy? Put out the best energy? Like, I had to play my full stack when I was there. I was like, okay, I got to take care of working out. Worked out, got it down. Eating equals good energy if you eat right, okay? Learning about stuff. I had to do what I had to do to place the best hand because I wasn't the most prettiest kid. I mean, I would consider myself brutally rugged. I'm not a pretty man. You know, it's one of those things. But women appreciate that ability to go through and get grinded out because it chisels away you. It brings you grounded into that masculine energy. Like you'd be amazed if you came to my house, like how many women will climb up in bed that are welcome at my house anytime. They'll climb up in bed and just like come in the bed and they'll just put their head on my chest and I'm cool with it. I don't look for sex all the time, okay? But they're just like, they all say the same thing. You ground me. You center me. Because they don't know what's going on in real life. You know, women can be grounded in their own nature, but with all the wishy-washy guys that are the men that are out there these days, they're all over the place. So a good, strong, masculine man who knows what he wants, who has a high level of expectation for himself, is gonna probably have a high level of expectation for the person that he's with. Does that make sense? And that's what they really want. You know, one of the best things, like money, money's cool. It attracts women, okay? I always say, you know, if you want to get women, become a drug dealer, become a millionaire, or be really good looking, okay? Other than that, there's one other level, and that's be so masterful in your own life that your energy brings them up. Your inspiration brings them up. When they get around you, and I have to be with women all the time, I have to go in there and quick fix them because they just got beat up in the strip club, and I'm like, come on, let's go, you're beautiful, blah, 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 look at you, and I go, you know, look at this guy out here, blah, 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 I have to do stuff on the fly to get them to go back out there to make their money, okay? That's what they appreciate because they're like, you know what? He's gonna tell me straight up. Like, I'm brutally honest with women. They come up to me and they're like, what do you think? And I go, you look like SpongeBob SquarePants, that outfit. And they're like, really? I go, yeah, look at your curves. Your curves are all sexy and nice like this, and you're wearing some straight ass outfit that's like this. I'm like, and this other girl, she was wearing these clogs, brand new girl. Matter of fact, I'm actually dating her, kind of now. But she was wearing these clogs, like, stilettos are sexy, right? You ever seen that with women? With these clogs, and she came in, she's 21, and she's like, she's upstairs, I'm like, hey. I said, come here. I said, you like losing money? She's like, what do you mean? I go, dude, those shoes are ugly. And she's like, well, the girls said they were pretty. I go, really? The girls said that? You think the girls want you to look pretty? You're competing with them for money. She's like, no, they'd lie. I go, no, they're not gonna lie. Not at all. And so she changed, she started making money. Next day, she came out and she's wearing those, those little things that they have like the snaps, they go like this. Have you seen those little lingerie things? It's like an outfit, but it comes down here and they snap it together here. It's like, snap, it opens. Well, she was wearing that and she didn't know, and she was like bending over like this, and I said, oh man, I'm hammering this poor girl. I said, hey, come here. And she's like, what? I go, there's a house mom in the back, an older lady, she's like 60 years old, she sews stuff. I said, you need to cut those things on the bottom of your pants. She's like, why? I'm all, because when you bend over, the edges fold out, it looks like you're wearing a fucking pad. Like a tampon pad. And she's like, no, it doesn't. I go, Mom, tell her. She goes, yeah, it does. And then when girls come up to me, they're like, you think I'll make money? I go, first of all, you smell like fucking smoke. Your breath smells like smoke. Your body smells like smoke. You think a guy's gonna pay good money for that? Nah. You fucking go in there, wash your shit off, you get pretty and come back out. You're here to make money? Think a guy's gonna pay $20 for 2 minutes to smell like an ash, to have an ashtray rubbing up down on his body? It's that level of being harsh. It's that level of not worrying about their feelings on a degree, because if you're truthful, that's the thing, if you're truthful, they're gonna appreciate it, because most men bullshit them. And it's so rare to have a man that's like, nah, I don't like that. Even though it may hurt them, you just tell them, like, it's my own personal opinion. I could be wrong. I don't like it. And then they say, well, these people said it, then good, then wear it. That's my own personal opinion. Stick strong with your personal opinion. Your personal opinion matters. Your personal opinion doesn't matter when you don't respect your own opinion to do the things that you want to do. So it's coming back to this bottom line is, why not you? You have to get good at you. It's the hardest thing in the world, but a man, if he's gonna be satisfied in life, if he's gonna be stoked in life and look back and be proud of his own unique contribution, because really it's an institution of contribution to be a man. Think about that. You are an institution to give contribution. If you're gonna be a high-level man, you have to contribute. Whether it's your own unique personality, whether it's you're going and doing things above and beyond, because that's really where it's at. When you can start doing service, when you can start giving more and more and more of the energy, you get more and more energy. When you're all worried about yourself and you're just working on yourself and you're like, I gotta do a retreat, I gotta do this, and you're working on yourself, you're never gonna get that good energy. You gotta go above and beyond and start helping out other people, as long as you're not being like codependent on it. Understand, it's a tough love. It's tough love not only for you, but for everyone else around you. If you're gonna be a high-level man like that. Now, this is my opinion. I can come across, I might have been a little slightly jaded working 25 years in the strip club, all right? But I get along with all women, for the most part, except my sister. She is a feminist. Yeah. Trust me. It gets exciting sometimes. And it's real simple. Like, if a girl says no, you say next. That quick. You should have that worked in. No, next. No, next. Work on, because it doesn't matter in her mind to that degree. And like I said, man, at every level, there's another devil. No matter how high you get, there's another devil at every level. It's gonna come in, it's gonna beat you down. The brighter the light, the darker the shadow, always. There is no escape for you as a man. There is none. So handle the shit now that seems hard, so that you can be big enough and bold enough to get stuff that's way harder. Woo! But it's worth it. That's the cool thing. It's a grind, but it's worth it. And and just remember, man, like I said, to understand who you are and what you're about, like, there's guys here that can support you, okay? There's guys here that can understand what you're going through, as long as you don't become a professional victim. okay, and waste your time. Like, you should give yourself some serious goals, whether it's like, I'm gonna walk up to a woman 30 minutes a day, something simple. Whether it's gonna be, I'm gonna communicate with women, I'm gonna learn this, I'm gonna ask questions. If you're brutally honest with them, you can be brutally honest with you. Ask them. Ask women in a conversation, like you just had a conversation. You can stop. Like, it's amazing how much women wanna help. Okay, so if you just had a bad interaction with a woman and you're just like, ooh, I just came across, just go, okay, hey, this is gonna sound really stupid, but I'd like some real honest advice. As a man, the way I just came at you, if you were a female dating coach, where would you say I went right? Where would you say I went wrong? Self-exploration, like, it's out there. That's why I say use what's out there. And they'll tell you. And pretty soon you'll start to get the habit. Well, you know what, you were a little fidgety, or you came across too harsh, or you didn't smile. Okay, they're gonna give you your best feedback. That's live. That ain't no bullshit. That's live interaction. And that's live data. You want that live data because that's where it's at. Be cool with asking them, because sometimes just you asking them lowers your, it shows that you're vulnerable, and they may continue the conversation on. And now because you relaxed, and maybe she's relaxed, she feels a little bit more comfortable with you, and now she's helping you, you never know where that can go. It could go to the bedroom, you know? But be okay with that, like, make it a goal. Next, all you guys, if you're out there, when you talk to a woman, just say, hey, I'm doing a little social studies thing, and I'm supposed to ask, you know, as a man, what I could have done to be more attractive in your eyes, if anything. She'll say, well, the way you close. Like, that's the best advice that you can get is from a woman, all right? And it's gonna toughen you up. Because, you know, like, most guys can't take it. They can't take the heat of worrying about what other people think about them. I mean, when you worry about what other people think about, I'm sure you heard it, you know, you care so much about what they think that you forget about yourself. Their opinion of you is so much more important than your own opinion of yourself. That's a weak way of being. Okay, you can't be like that. Well, you can be like that. There's consequences. There's things called strap-ons that girls use with guys like that sometimes, all right? It's a real penetrating experience. So I want to kind of open it up a little bit, because I was going to give 20 minutes. I mean, do you guys have questions about things? Because I want to be able to answer questions specifically that you may have. And I'm also going to give you guys an offer. So remind me to give you guys an offer that I'm not going to give anywhere else, but I have a tendency to go a little off the track. So go ahead.
Eric, so you go into a strip club. How do you go in there and not be looked at as a mark? You know, and a wallet that they're looking to extract money from.
Okay, well, first of all, I got to go on the attitude that you're not going in there to meet a woman because she's a stripper. You're kind of generalizing. Here's what I do. Walk in there and just say, you know what? This environment relaxes me. I know, and usually these are what they call NLP anchors, okay, like spatial anchors. You can sit there, like, $1 is gonna go far. If you have $30, you can go in there, $30, 2 minutes average, 2 minutes a song, $30, an hour, 2 hours. You're gonna be able to sit there, girls are gonna come by, and you just go like this, you know, they say, hey, are you having a good time? You're like, I'm just here to relax. You know, this beats the environment with all the other guys that you're probably used to. I know a lot of guys come in here that are thinking that they're gonna get laid, or they're gonna meet women, or, you know, they're just perving. But then there's guys that come in here just because I appreciate the female body. You know, I appreciate coming in here. I appreciate, you know, having multiple women that are cool enough, that are ballsy enough to go up on stage, because it's something that I consider it's pretty admirable to be able to do that. And then you just get in a conversation, and you can even say, there's a lot of guys that come in here that are pretty idiots, right? And so what you're doing by doing this, you're separating yourself from all the other guys, and you're saying, then there's guys that you probably met that are really cool. You know, and have you ever met a guy when you're in a club that you're like, you went home with, or you became a boyfriend? Or were there other girls that you've seen that do that? What happened? Like, I'm curious about the nature of this business, because this is amazing what you guys do. Do you see how you can come in there and do that? Like, you're walking through the door. To not think that you're a mark on some level is unrealistic, okay? But there is a difference in the girl's mind about a guy who's in there thinking that he's gonna get laid because he's in the fantasy world of that, and a guy who's actually pretty cool. A guy who's not, having a good conversation, because in that conversation, they're gonna go in his mind, he's different. So help separate yourself like this, do things like this. Have fun with them. Like the strip club, the reason I got into the strip club business, because I had the worst eye contact with women, probably of any guy. Like I couldn't even look at him. I was like, oh, gee, well, because as soon as I looked at him, my body just went, poof. I mean, you ever feel that? Like your lights up, and I was like, all right? So I forced myself to go in there, because for $1, I could sit there and force and not be like some creeper, even way back then, to get better at it. And I was like, okay, 3 seconds. Let's do this, 3 seconds. 1, fuck. All right, 3 seconds, right? 1, 2, I would be like, concentrate on my breath. Like I micromanaged it. But that's why I went in there. It's a fantastic place to practice your skills and get good with women. I mean, even in conversation's where it's at. A lot of guys talk, but I mean, the conversation will reveal the depth of the experience that you can have with a woman. Like, does anyone want to play role play, like, on how many questions you could ask? I highly recommend everyone, study a little bit of what they call mind lines or sleight of mouth patterns. It's how to get into the depth of things that people say, how to listen deeper to conversations. Because when a woman has a conversation with me, I'm exploring her world. I'm not talking about me, okay? I'm exploring her world, and I'm teaching her more about her way of life, because I'm asking the right questions. And when she is going to those depths of questions that I ask her, and she's exploring, and she's like, I never thought about that, but she's processing, she's linking to you this experience of depth to you. So if anyone wants to play role model and pretend like you're a chick, and go back and forth, I'll kind of teach you a little bit of how to do that, or I'll teach you afterwards, or something like this. But did that answer your question on how to not be looked at like that guy? Just use the nonverbal. Say, there's a lot of guys I know that come in here that are idiots, that that probably think they're gonna get laid. And then there's guys that you probably met that are really fucking cool. It's kind of like the speed seduction shit. There are good aspects of it, okay? And then there's the personalities behind it. Okay? It either works for you or it doesn't. Any other questions?
A few years ago, I left an abusive relationship. It was emotionally and physically abusive. And it's left me devastated. I've left other relationships just fine, but this one has left a deep impact on me and has affected me still to this day, 3.5 years later. What would you suggest to get over and find worth in myself past that abuse?
Why would you give worth to a woman to define who you are as a man? Like, who's setting the standard for you? You're looking to say someone else is going to infuse me or define my life for me. You define your own life. Everyone gets hurt. Remember, all life ends in tragedy. Okay, what you do with it is, are you a professional victim or are you not? Because you can make that. Yeah, we all feel shit. I mean, like I told the story with the Get Over Your Ex. I created that program because I was dating a girl for 5 years that lived right across the way, went south, and she was not open. I was like trying to, getting information from her. Shut down. I was feeling it. I was like, I had the sting. And if you're a man and you're doing this kind of stuff and you're having multiple relations, you better get real good at feeling the sting. You better get real good at feeling sufferings to a degree. Because if you're man enough to put it out there like this is who you want, you better be man enough to take the sting. Okay? So you have to be able to do that. And the opportunity that you have is that all that extra time that you're wasting on it, because I know that there's a lot of energy involved in that. You can man up and say, hey, all this extra time that I'm wasting, I'm gonna be able to rechannel it to something much more productive and powerful. And I was talking to you before, I said, do this. How many times I'm thinking about her, I can't stop thinking about her. Well, let's put a fucking financial, monetary number on it. Let's just say you make $100 a day. $100 a day, what is that like? I'm not a mathematician, so some of you guys are gonna have to help me. If you're making $100 a day, okay, per hour, what would that average around? $8. Okay, per minute. You did good there. Okay, what would it be average? Like, throw it out there, because like I said, man, I'm next to, well, when it comes to that. So $8 an hour, what would that average a minute? 40 cents. Okay, so 40 cents. So that's what you figure your time is worth if you're making $100 a day. 40 cents a minute. And I put this on, guys, okay? So you keep on thinking about this girl. I want you to get a stopwatch. I do this, get a stopwatch every day. As soon as you start thinking about her, hit play or hit start. And then at the end of the day, go, I thought about her almost 2 hours. Well, then you get to go and give that $16 to a homeless person. Once you start learning that they're wasting your time and they're wasting your energy when they're not there and you're doing it to yourself, and you start punishing yourself for it, how long is it gonna be when you're like, I'm not doing that shit no more? This chick that I can't stand, okay, or that can't stand me, and she's, trying to make my life horrible in some way, now she's causing me financial ruin. I mean, how many guys are gonna be stoked to be like, yeah, this month I just gave away $400 because I was thinking about her? Anyone? No. So there's ways of doing that. Like I said, the main thing is you get to man up and say, okay, yeah, you know what, you're gonna get beat, you're gonna get stung, okay, but it reveals you as a man. You get to redefine who you are. You get to figure out where in your life did you give permission to people to run your life like that. That's the thing. Every person has to relearn. We come into this world and we learn what society, our parents, our friends, okay, and then we get to this level where we, boom, take the red pill. And we're like, shit, I gotta unlearn a lot of stuff. And that's a process for a man. Every man's gonna have to go through that, okay? It was scary in my life when I went through that. Took me a number of years. That's how I started off. Massage, and I'm like, well, this didn't work. Oh, crystals, I went through LSD. I mean, I've done over 250 trips of DMT mixed with ketamine, okay? Like, I've done a lot of shit to explore. Done a lot of shamanistic stuff. I've run in nudist colonies because I was trying to find who I am. At the time where everyone like, I think Eric's going a little fucking nutty, okay? But all those friends are miserable. All those friends are in relationships where it's embarrassing. All these friends call me, hey, the wife's gone for the weekend. You think I can get hooked up at Cheetah's? Sure. When I'm picking up parties in the van, the most disgusting thing, the reason why I hammer on guys so hard is because I'm sick and tired and disgusted in men that are like, hey guys, okay, listen, we're all here together. No one tell the wives we're gonna be here. And I'm just driving going, that's fucking pathetic. It's pathetic as a man. Like, a man should have his way down. Like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is what I'm gonna do. If you don't like it, cool, then you're not appropriate for my life. You want a woman to complement your life. She's there to compliment you. She's not there to be your better half. She's there to be the icing on your cake. You're the cake, you're the foundation. She's the icing. Either makes you look good or makes you look not good. Vice versa, you're complimenting her as well in her way. So understand that there's some really powerful factors that are going on, and to look around and just say, I'm not doing this shit anymore. Done. When this conference is over and I'm driving back home or I'm flying, every situation in your life should look different. You're gonna start to see the patterns in your life where you're looking around and saying, that's weak, where's that gonna lead to? This person over here, pussy. This person over here, I would never put up with that shit. I tell that to girls too, and they laugh. They laugh and I'm like, that shit that you're pulling over there wouldn't even happen in my life. Not even, you wouldn't even get the first word out of your mouth. Not even happening. They laugh and they're like, because they get away with it. Okay, and they're used to it because there's a lot of guys. Remember, it's real simple, and this is why guys have to learn this. Like, women will beat us up and be like, oh, they're doing this microaggression and all this shit. Shut the fuck up. Bottom line is, it's easy. Getting laid for a man is a chore. Getting laid for a woman is a choice. Real simple. I was arguing with this girl. She's like, no, it's not that easy. I go, bullshit. I go, you know what? Open up a Tinder account right now. And I'm gonna open up my Tinder account. Same time, exact same time. I said, watch what happens. 5 hours later, I had 2 hits. 5 hours later, she had 300 and something. I forgot about it, like 5 days later, and I remembered, I'm like, how many are you at right now? I got 10. Sweat, I was not good on Tinder. I got laid a couple times, but like I said, it just didn't work. I had like 10, she was at 3,500. I said, now tell me how it's not easier for a woman. Shut her down, she had nothing more to say. I go, this is what men have to go through. And if you're not willing to do the sacrifice and go up with it, then you ain't gonna get it. You're gonna just be average, you're gonna be sitting on the sideline, and that's it. And like I said, the most important thing is you're an accessory to a woman on a lot of levels. If you don't look good, if you don't dress, like I'm not the best dresser, but I got a hell of a personality, all right? I sit there with them and go, okay, this is it. Do I take care of my body? Yeah. Does it suck like doing it? 60% of the time I hit the gym, I'm dredging it, all right? Just the way it is, but it helps, okay? Haircut, it's pretty good. the way I talk, the way I communicate, okay, I'm leveraging it. And you have to be able to do that. You have to respect yourself. If you don't respect yourself to do the things that are good for you, a woman's not gonna respect you, or you're gonna get a woman that's on the same level. I mean, the most amazing thing is when you have two people working together, or three, as a powerful unit moving forward progressively, okay, to be more productive, to be more happy, to be more healthy, all these wonderful things in life. It's such a powerful thing. I just want you guys to get this like deep down. Like I want my voice to become one little cell in your body that's like, don't be a pussy. Do it. You know? And that's the thing. And listen, this is a lonely journey. There's nothing more lonely than a man, because he's the one who has to do it. And most of the time, it's you alone in your own head. So you might as well get real good at understanding that, and real good at convincing yourself and being your own person that inspires you to get up to the gym. Like even the gym, sometimes I'm like, fuck, I don't feel like doing it. I'll trick myself. I have like an energy drink sometimes. I'll be like, I'll take an energy drink and I know I'm fucked. If I don't work out, I'll be like, geez, fuck. You know? So I'll be like, okay, I'm just gonna cheat, boom. And I'm like, I gotta go to the gym. I have to work this out. I'm gonna feel like shit. You know, a lot of times you're being creative with the way that you gotta manipulate yourself out of things. Like get good at manipulating yourself, okay? There's no easy way through this. And things like that. Any other questions? Cool. What I got, 2 minutes?
Yeah, you were talking about your purpose and just your reality, what you want to live. And my question to you is, what factors determine a man who succeeds and who doesn't succeed? And what determines how fast, if he does succeed, what determines how
fast he does?
How fast he does.
I'll say, I look at life as pure potential. Pure potential, like potential in every moment of what I'm gonna do, what I choose to do, what I wanna do. I live life complete by how I wanna do things in the moment at any one point in time, like full 100% choice. My wife gets pissed, and a lot of the girls that I'm hanging out with get pissed, because I will sit there in a parking lot and I'll get out and I'll open the door and I have mason jars, because that's what I drink when I go to the, and I'll be like, I gotta pee, and I'll pee. I literally peed at, there was another seminar that was going on a couple weeks ago. I was in this big event like this. I had to pee, and there was a huge line. I just went like this. It's not it's not, you know, like purpose, but I was like, I gotta fucking pee. I don't give a shit, okay? I threw it away, washed the thing and stuff like that, but a man should be able to do whatever he wants in any one situation. The moment you start worrying about what other people say, people go, he's a sick pig, he's a fucking, you know, a brute, he's a caveman, but I enjoy my life, the happiest person that I know. And that's what it comes down to, because I make that in the moment. And as far as like the speed of it really comes down to your own commitment. You have to be committed. And everyone knows they bullshit. You can't bullshit the mirror. You look at yourself and you're bullshitting. You have to have that commitment. You have to, like I said, set the bar and say, you know what? Every behavior that you do is gonna have a consequence that leads into something else. And it goes down the line. You can track every behavior. If I don't approach her, I'm gonna feel bad. I'm gonna talk shit to myself. I'm gonna have less energy. All right, that's gonna build a stronger pattern for next time. It's gonna seem more easier. I'm gonna come up with an excuse compared to if I walk up to her, hey, you know what? I learned more data. You know, I got a richer reality, a map of reality than I would have before. It's more complete now, because in my mind, I thought maybe I knew her, but I didn't approach her, so I know nothing about her. Even if I walk up to her and say hi, and she goes, fuck off. I'm like, okay, well, she at least had this kind of voice. She talked high. My map of reality is stronger, it's more realistic, because I have an actual representation that can go on the map of the world and explain things and define things. So everything is about data. Everything is about how to enrich your world and your reality through experience, because the more data you have, the richer your map is, if that makes sense. You have to get so curious, that's the key. Curiosity is the key. You have to be curious about everything. Curious if I'm gonna get my feelings hurt. Curious if I'm gonna smile, laugh, or cry if she fucking shuts me down, okay? So I'm gonna just wrap this up. I'm gonna spend one more minute to really grind into you. Nobody is gonna live your life for you. At the end of the day, it's your eyes that connect with your brain. Your brain is gonna either have a good understanding of life, or it's gonna have a shitty understanding of life. The only thing that makes it different is you going out there and putting yourself in the situations and building past it, getting stronger, because when you put yourself and you get shut down and you get beat up, okay, when you're the solution and you have that solution, is there anyone in here that thinks that at the end of the day, if you come up with the solution to everything that you guys are worried about right now, you come up with the solution, you think you're gonna be worse off or better off? you're gonna be a fuckload better off because the next level is gonna come. You're gonna get more powerful. You're gonna have more pride in yourself. People are gonna respect you more, and especially this DNA, we need men in this world that are powerful because the media is fucking guys' heads up. And if we don't have guys that are right now saying, hey, you know what, I'm gonna do this right now, and I'm gonna be that guy because I'm gonna be a physical manifestation for my kids, for the cousins, for the friends down the street, they're probably gonna watch stuff on social media, and they ain't gonna have a clue. And this country's gonna be fucked. So make the decision now that there is no more bullshit. Set your standard high and get ready to kick ass in life and get ready to get grinded fucking out because it's tough, but it's fucking worth it. 100% across the board. Hope you enjoyed.